What is going on, people from the troop? Welcome back to another bunch of things. This is the intro, but I forgot to do an intro, so there it goes. Check this out. Woo! Alright. I know. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm back in the house, and unfortunately, I would have loved to be able to show you guys in camera everything that I was using in the moment, but there was a lot of commotion, a lot of people. There was over 30 people fishing that hole in the vicinity around it, so there was a lot of yelling, a lot of cursing, a lot of sailor mouth. That not necessarily something that I want to post here. So I'm gonna do a voiceover and go over the things that I used, what worked, what didn't work, and the things that didn't work not necessarily is because the lure does not work. It just didn't work on the conditions that I was fishing. So it wasn't favorable to the conditions that I was fishing. It doesn't mean that the lure does not work. I'm pretty sure that in different circumstances, different conditions, they probably will shine. Maybe a different species of fish, they might shine perfectly, but not for the moment, the time, the place where I was. So the first thing that it worked for me, and it's the first lure that I cast out and I caught the first few fish, was this thing, Trout Magnet D2 jigs. Somehow these little guys are phenomenal. They are just brutal. Like the fish just like can just jump on it. It's 1/16 of an ounce. This one is called the Toad, I guess, the color, but it's somewhat of a green little jig. It's tiny little jig with a number 6 hook. It's really nice and did the job. I end up switching back and forward on this one pretty much the entire time. So this thing worked like a champ. Here you're gonna see me use a 1/32 of an ounce jig with these guys, Bobby Garland Itty Bit. They're kind of like purple. They're I think it's an inch and a quarter. They're an inch and a quarter. They're an inch and a quarter purple with little sparkles. These did not give me a bite. They look phenomenal in the water though. Like the action is really phenomenal. But it did not provide a bite. It could have been the color, it could have been the way that I was fishing, and it could have been logically the people and the pressure that was happening around me. So, but the action on this looks amazing. So try this, guys. Didn't get a bite on that. Here you're gonna see me switch to the Zen 1/32 of an ounce jig, and I use the Euro Tackle Micro Finesse B5 shot. This is 2 1/4 inches in orange. The action on this looks ridiculous in the water. It looks amazing, but unfortunately this didn't give me a bite either. I don't know. Once again, this is not that this does not work on Finesse microplastic, which I'm getting really hooked with Finesse techniques. Is really nice. I enjoy it very much working on Finesse stuff. But this one didn't provide a bite. Once again, it could be a plethora of reasons that didn't provide a bite for me. So On this one, you're gonna see me, I'm switching to Lake Fork. So this is the baby shad 2¼ inch. This is blackened chartreuse with glitter on it. The action on this, once again, superb. Amazing action. I did caught a bass. Didn't provide a bite on this trip for white bass, but it did work. I got a largemouth with this in the past, and they were really nice and they look amazing in the water. So, but in this condition, this situation didn't provide a bite at all. Switching to Laker Crappie jigs. This is a 1/16 of an ounce and is in white with silver little weight in the back. This guy didn't provide a bite. I'm pretty sure that this will be probably killer in really good conditions for crappie. I never caught a crappie before, so but I can tell that this will provide a bite. It looks really nice in the water. It has a little bit of a wobble if you're too strong with it, but it does look really good in the water. So hopefully, once I get into some crappie, we can put this guy back into the test and see what it does. This time I'm going with a Rooster tail on 1/32 of an ounce with pink blade. This didn't provide a bite either. It looks phenomenal in the water. Once in a while the blade gets stuck and it was kind of like you had to give it a tug and get it to move. But it does really well. It looks really nice. I did caught a white bass trolling in another lake some time ago on one rooster tail on black and green, and it did work. So unfortunately for these circumstances and this time for white bass, it didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean that it will not work for somebody else. Now you're gonna see me switch to the cream tricolor swirl tails. These guys actually look really good. They look really good in the water. The action of the tail is just, this is, super standard little grub with a tail. This didn't provide a bite. I threw this guy on a 1/16 and a 1/32 of an ounce and didn't get any reaction of it. It was kind of difficult because I got people fishing around me. Most of them were fishing with live bait and live minnows, and all of these worked really like the one thing, the trout magnet worked. The only problem that I was having is that I had to work it a lot. Compared to them, every 3 fish that they got, I will cut one. But I had to grab it, make sure that I could put it, present it in the right side of the column of the water. It was tricky, so sometimes I had to move the spot just to give it a rest where I was casting, and then come back and switch to something else just to give it a rest, and then come back until I could find them again, and then caught quite a few in a row. So now you're gonna see me switch to this guy, and this is a Acme Castmaster white and silver spoon. This is in a medium size. I've got a bite and I lost the fish on this guy, and I kept going, but after that I couldn't feel or get anything. But this provided me a bite, so something to keep in mind on that one. Now that you see me switch to the striking Mr. Crappie shoe shine on black and purple. This guy also provided me a bite, but it was one bite and then it died down and I couldn't get anything to bite. Then I switched immediately to a trout magnet and boom, immediately got a bite. On here, you're gonna see me switch back to the trout magnet, and I stood in the trout magnet for a while because I wanted to get some fish so I can bring home and start packing up the fridge, and just to see how well does this work compared to everything else that I was throwing. So I gave it a chance, and I got a really good spin of getting a lot of fish back to back, and it did work. Now, all of the lures that I showed you, cast for a while. Like it wasn't just like a couple of, no, I cast for like 6, 7, 8 times, different areas, different movement, different form of like get the twitching in the presentation, and it didn't work. So we'll keep moving. You're gonna see me switch now to these guys. And wherever I'm fishing, I'm not leaving the house without this. This thing has, out of everything that has casted so far and thrown so far on different species of fish, this is the one thing that has caught me the most fish through and through. And it's amazing. These are this is the standard trout magnet. They come with 1/64 of an ounce jigs. They're really small. These things are about an inch and a quarter maybe. They're tiny, but I have caught largemouth, smallmouth, striper, bluegill, trout, white bass, and catfish with these little tiny guys. These things are brutal. And one of the things that I like the most is that the durability. I'm gonna try to take a picture with my cell phone and see if you guys can see how much teeth marks this thing has. It is shredded. And it lasted the entire time that I was there. Once I switched to this, I was going back and forth in between this and the Trout Magnet D2. This Trout Magnet D2 exclusively, and I got pretty much all my fish going back and forth. When they got tired or they weren't buying D2, I will switch to this, I will catch a couple of these, and then I will switch back to the D2 and I will catch a couple with that, and I will go back and forth. So it was pretty fun and extremely durable, and this is one of my favorite lures so far. one of my favorite plastics. They're really tiny. You might not get a really sizable fish with this, but they see it and they want it. They go for it and they last a long time. So the regular standard Trout magnet. Pretty much what I threw that day, and I left out a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't use, and there's some more in there, and I got some more in the backpack, and it was just insane. It's insane the amount of stuff that I have, and slowly but surely I'm trying them out in different conditions and see what works, what doesn't work. But the two kings that worked the best and gave me all of my fish were both from the same company, Trout Magnet. And it's funny because they're designed for trout, but with these guys I've catch a lot of different species with the same lure. And now with this one, even though it's designed for trout, white bass go for it. And I'm pretty sure that if you probably present this in front of a crappie, you'll probably buy it too. So it was so much that I went, after I got out of there, I went and stopped in Academy, and I got me more of this color, a couple of the colors, just to have it, because I don't know if this is going to be something that is seasonal or is all year round, that you can find it everywhere. So just to be sure, because I know it works. So if it works, it works, you know. So yeah, that's how I end up. I end up getting 20 white bass and 1 drum. So that was that. So.
Yeah. Oh boy, are you guys gonna feed in here? Well, there you have it. Almost a limit of white bass. No menos. Everything was artificial. So I'm gonna pick this up in the house really quick and I can show you what I use. Yes, the bite was good, but if I would have worked with menos, would have been faster, I guess. But it worked.
One last thing that I wanted to touch on is something that I talked about it, and I talked about it a lot when I'm duck hunting. I talk about it when it's fishing, and this time there's a couple of things actually I want to talk about. So one of them is picking up the trash, guys. This is quite embarrassing. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is a knot of line that somebody caught because probably got bird's nest, and they caught it and left it on the bank. And I found it and I was able to just caught it and clean it up, but it's not fun when you go to fish in a place and you find just trash everywhere. And this is not even like quarter. I took a whole bunch of cans and plastic bottles and beer bottles and rum bottles and all kinds of different stuff, which, hey, do you, I don't care. I do enjoy my adult beverages once in a while as well, but not in the areas that I'm fishing publicly and leaving the trash behind. Like, let's be a little bit more conscious about that. Second thing that I'm going to talk about is, if you're in nature, or you know people that go to nature and enjoy going on hikes and walking around riverbanks and stuff, I know that it's really tempting when you're walking around a riverbank to create these like little towers of rocks that looks really nice, and then you want to take pictures or whatever, or make these little dams with rocks, and so you can cross from one little area to another one because it's fun. Sometimes kids just stack them around, playing around, and it's all fine and nice. And if you want to take a picture, just create your thing, take a picture. Please break those dams down. Please take those rock structures down. If kids are piling up a bunch of rocks after they're done playing, just please remove that and just leave it as it was. Reason being is, major lakes that have a white bass population and crappie population, during the spring will go upstream, up the river. They're gonna go up the river just so they can spawn. If we create those dams and we block the path for those fish to go and find their pools where they're gonna spawn and do their thing, we are affecting now the natural process of this fish. And not only you're affecting and disrupting that cycle, but you're also preventing those fish for reaching and keeping a healthy population, which will resume in decline population, and more and more and more you're going to stop not finding this fish in bodies of water. So if you are the type of person that you want to take pictures and do, I'm not saying don't do it, just go ahead, do and take pictures. That's what nature is out there, is for us to enjoy and admire it. Please do the very best. That if you're with your kids and the kids are stacking rocks, let them do their thing. But before you leave, just bring it back to normal. If you are going to stack rocks just because you want to take a nice picture with the sunset and the water and the vegetation, whatever you want to do it. Just break the stuff down, leave those riverbeds in the way that you find it, so those fish can do what they naturally are supposed to be doing. And in that way, we can all keep the ecology and the systems working the way that it's supposed to. Instead of disrupting it for something that sometimes even unconsciously we think that this is just cool, but unfortunately those type of behaviors, those type of actions actually prevent the fish from doing what they're naturally supposed to be doing. So just food for thought and a little bit of knowledge here, so you can help everybody out. On the last trip that we did, not this one, but a trip that I did before with Logan, we had to literally dismantle an insane amount of dams. And once we broke it down, the amount of algae that started flowing and started moving and cleaning and getting everything to go, and immediately as soon as we did that, we start seeing minnows moving. So it's unfortunate that people will do that and not pay attention and not think about it, or simply enough because they're not educated enough to understand that, yeah, it might look good in a picture for your TikTok, Instagram, whatever, but unfortunately the adverse effects of that, it has a lot of weight on the ecosystem that you are enjoying and having fun and taking pictures of. So if you're gonna do it, just please break it down, leave those areas the way that you find it, or better, if you find some trash, just pick it up and help everybody to keep these areas as clean and as natural as possible. Thank you.